Before we can determine the isolation distance, we must first determine if the event is a small or large spill. For purposes of the ERG, a small spill is considered to be quantities less than 660 pounds for solids and less than 55 gallons or 208 liters for liquids. A large spill is anything greater than these amounts. Once the size of the spill is known, the ERG can be used to provide isolation distances. These can generally be found in two places. First, the orange paged guides provide very basic isolation and evacuation information in the evacuation section. You will also notice that some guides have additional evacuation information for spills involving fires. The ERG contains more detailed isolation and protective action distances in Table 1, located in the green pages. The isolation area is the area that needs to be off limits to all people and surrounds the spill equally in all directions. To determine this distance, open the isolation table. Find the product UN number in the left column and read across the table. You will notice sections for both small and large spills. Each of these sections has a column for isolation distances. This area can easily be cordoned off using fire line or crime scene tape. Once marked off, it will be up to you to assure that entry is denied until specially trained responders arrive. As you read across each line of Table 1, you will find protective action distance recommendations. These distances will determine the area downwind from the spill that may be impacted. You will need to know the wind direction, which can be obtained from the Emergency Dispatch Center. Like with isolation, there are different protective action distances for small and large spills. Each of these are broken down into daytime and nighttime. Because nighttime atmospheric conditions are not as effective in dispersal of airborne chemicals, nighttime distances are greater than daytime. Once the distance is known, the next step is to determine the shape of the evacuation area. This will be in the form of a cone that starts at the point of the spill. The protective distance provided in Table 1 is a straight line downwind from the spill. Once the furthest point is known, the protective area extends half the distance in either direction. While evacuation within this area is always preferred, sometimes it is not feasible. In these situations, people should be told to shelter in place.
Shelter in place is a little more difficult. Shelter in place is designed for those chemicals that are fast moving, usually gaseous, or liquids and solids that are in an isolated part of the building. So I can tell everybody to stay in the west wing. Don't come out because we have a problem in the east wing. But the other one is that the chemical is moving through the neighborhoods very quickly and you order the public to stay in place, which means close all your doors and windows, go to an inner room in the house and let this storm pass you by.
We begin with breaking news. Students at Rancho High School were evacuated today after a teacher alerted authorities to a possible hazmat situation.
If an evacuation is determined to be necessary, it will likely be a large undertaking. The evacuation of a large area usually includes multiple different responding agencies. The job of evacuation is frequently tasked to law enforcement during hazardous materials incidents.